Hello, this is Reginald, also known as Brother Teacher. What if I told you that the world in which we live is not what it really appears to be? What if I told you that the government that we believe that we are honoring and respecting and looking up to was really not what it was supposed to be? What if I told you that there was a conspiracy against the American people? A conspiracy to wipe out, for lack of a better word, to extinguish, or to minimize the population for the purpose of the elite in our society, which are really not in our society because most of the time we don't see them anyway. The elite, those individuals that are part of the 1%, those individuals that sit in an ivory tower somewhere looking down upon all of us peons, they really want to control the world and at the expense of all of the small people, the middle class, and everyone all the way down to the poor, the downtrodden, the nobodies, the have-nots. What if I told you that that was true? What if I told you that the food manufacturers don't really care about you? What if I told you that hospitals and doctors really don't care about your life, your health? All because of a dollar. All because of political reasons. All because of an elevation of their station in life, as it were, at the expense of everybody else. What if I told you that? What if I told you that the grocery stores sell what appears to be food, but the majority of it is not food at all? You know, when I was coming up in retail, we had a category called food stuff. Now, food stuff was things like potato chips, candy bars, cake, pop, soda pop, if you will, because it's not classified as real food. And typically, when you talk about real food, you're talking about organic meat, beef, chicken, fish, those things that are not tainted or polluted with preservatives and so forth. And of course, your produce or your vegetation. That's real food. Everything else is a food stuff item. But as I asked you a moment ago, what if I told you that all of this stuff was an illusion just to make you feel like you are benefiting and your health actually was not important to anyone but you and your family and friends? What if I told you those things? Would you believe it? I find it very disenfranchising that when you try to give people in general information that could save them, that could better their lives, that could raise them above the station of life in which they are presently, it's as though you're attacking them. It is perceived as though you're some type of lunatic or some crazy person. But the real crazy part is that you have the information to prove your stance. And they still won't listen. They still won't follow it. And the reason being oftentimes is because they are in a position of complacency where they're more comfortable in a position where they have been more familiar with most of their lives. And the change is very difficult for them psychologically, and of course the physical follows. That is what the majority of our people in America and even the world are up against. Governments that control us psychologically. I'm sure you probably have heard this phrase before, and even I've mentioned it before in my videos, how people live to eat instead of eating to live. Just because the thing tastes good. The industry knows that, so they play on us. They exploit us based on the things that we love and like to do, things we like and love to eat, things we like and love to enjoy. They exploit it, and they know what they're doing. This is something that they're experts at. They've been doing this for many, many years, way before you and I were born, deceiving us, tricking our mind, making us believe that we're receiving value when we really are not. Do you think that most people that go to a hospital, emergency room, or even as a regular patient of a doctor or some triage situation, do you think that most of those people can be healed and don't have to see a doctor on a regular basis anymore? You think about it. I would venture to say that most people that go to the hospital are sick or ill or injured as a result of ignorance on their part, and the fact that the doctors never tell them what the real outlet is, or in other words, they don't tell them what the real remedy is for their situation. They just sort of maintain us for the rest of our lives so that we're always beholden to them. How does that really sound, that you have to go to a doctor and get a checkup from the day that you were born, you come out of your mother's womb, until the day that you die, you need a doctor? Where did that ideology come from? That's another thing that makes you think. At least it does me. But anyway, one of the things that I really wanted to point out today was about the food and drug industry. I'm sure you've heard of the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. You know, they approve drugs and chemicals that are put in our food for human consumption. And after scientists have already experimented on lab animals such as rats and guinea pigs and so forth, oftentimes they find that a lot of the drugs that they use on these animals through the experimentation, if you will, causes the animals to die or even have some type of disease or some bad reaction. And the Food and Drug Administration oftentimes approves the chemicals in human food. Did you know that? I'm sure you've heard this before. When people read the ingredients on a lot of the canned goods and a lot of the other foods that they buy, frozen and so forth, there's a lot of words on there outside of what's labeled on there. For example, if you buy mixed vegetables that are frozen, the only thing that really should be in the ingredients should be what those vegetables are. You shouldn't have 20 or 30 other ingredients in there, I don't think, anyway. But why is that? Preservatives, additives. Did you not know that a lot of the byproducts of chemical companies or factories, a lot of the byproducts and the toxic waste is in our foods and in our drinking water? That is a fact, my friend. And please don't attack me right away. All you have to do is study, like I have, and like many other people like me have. Study. Is that a lost art, a lost science, studying? A lot of us don't want to do anything but follow the bandwagon. When someone tells us something, we'll whisper to the next person, and then that person whispers it to the next person, and we accept that as being the gospel. But we won't research anything. And we have been living most of our days on planet Earth, in America at least, doing just that, following traditions and hearsay and fables, things that people have passed down from generation to generation. I don't care how much you love the person, or if it was a relative of your great-grandparents or your parents that passed it down to you. Everything should be checked out. Everything should be questioned, especially if you're a grown person and you're living your life according to that thing. What's wrong with challenging the things that you learned? Nothing at all. Do you have the courage today? Well, Alex Jones is an individual who's over the one channel or website Infowars.com. Why don't you check him out and see if some of the things that I've told you just in brevity and in general, maybe some specifics, are true at all. And see for yourself. I can give you some information and I can lead you to certain references, if you will, that will help you out on your journey as far as this subject is concerned. And the subject really is the deception of the United States government and the conspiracy of the United States government against its people. But it's not in it by itself. There are other countries who are on the bandwagon, but you'll find that out eventually. So check out Alex Jones' website, info wars, WARS.com. And also, while you're at it, you can check out my blog, Our Nation Under God, Not Under Government, .blogspot.com. You'll find that information in the description bar beneath. And please do your own due diligence before you start pointing fingers saying that that person is crazy and don't know what they're talking about. And don't be that person, don't be that individual that says, well, you know, we're all going to die of something one day. That is so much of a cop-out. That is a shame. If that's all of the value that you place on your own life, we're all going to die of something one day. I would like to know the truth about the people who say that they protect us in this one nation under God, supposedly indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is it really true? Well, anyway, I just want to throw that at you today. I'm Reginald, also known as Brother Teacher. I will see you in the next video. Please leave a comment, and I'll get right back. So long.